First thing you want to do when you're thinking about hosting a property tour is, what are your goals? What do you hope to achieve with this site visit? You want to think about how the tour might advance the legislators' goals, because they have their own interest, and if you are able to connect that dot between what they care about and what you care about, or between what you care about and what they care about, then they're going to possibly be a lot more interested in attending your property tour than not. Also, it's important to get buy-in internally and authorization in order to do that. I think that's pretty obvious. And then also, when you're planning the show, kind of think about it like you're creating like a stage, like you're a stage director, right? Like you're orchestrating a play. So pretend that you're the stage director and make an outline of what the narrative would be. What's the script going to be? Sort of what's the flow and all that. Choose the location. What's the photo going to look like, right? Think about like what's the backdrop going to look like. I'll tell you one thing about photos. Members of Congress love wearing hard hats, things like that. So think about different types of photos and other types of even the costuming of what can make a good photo. That'll really help you to kind of figure out what's the right place to host that site visit. Select and recruit your cast, and also not just who's the cast, but also who's gonna be your backstage crew, right? Those people are really important. If you don't have good backstage crew, you are not going to have a good production. So think about things like, who's going to help you with your communications, with your AV, who's going to be doing the video and the photography. Those are all also important people to recruit, not just the people who are going to be kind of the cast on the stage. It's always important to rehearse. If you've seen the musical Hamilton, you'll know that it didn't start out like such a fantastic show. It starts out looking more something like this, where they do a lot of rehearsal to work out all the kinks and learn all the lines. And so, that's the opportunity for people to really like learn the script. These are the talking points and get used to the script and sort of what the flow is going to be. Learn, what their part is and, to play it. Some different parts. There's, somebody's got to be the lead or the narrator. There's somebody who might tell the story or communicate what local impact is. There's a subject matter expert, and then also, of course, your stage crew as well. Those backstage people. Also, not a bad idea in the planning and the rehearsal is to make sure that you've got some understudies. What happens if somebody who's supposed to play a really key role ends up getting sick or something like that? You want to have some people who can back them up in case that happens, that are on deck to kind of serve in that role if something happens where somebody can't play their part on game day. Don't hog the limelight, and also that's the opportunity when you're doing rehearsal is to make some adjustments.